We just went live. We're
Cool.
live now.
Go ahead.
Was I not
Start
supposed to?
recording. No, I was just curious. I didn't know if you were, and I just missed it. So I was just checking, doing my
Oh,
duties. So yeah, go ahead and start recording the audio.
need to get it together here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot you require a moment or two to compose yourself
I might need a few moments.
Got a
to get
lot
the
of
spirit.
Hmm?
input at happy hour.
We're gonna have a good time.
All right. Uh-oh.
Shout out to everybody
Probably.
that came out of the happy hour. All right, three, two, one. Let's roll.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode, what was it? Episode 220
That's
That's
right.
right.
of your Endless Ranters podcast. My name is Chris. I've been calling everything a commie or everything I don't like a commie for 50 years. And I'm one of your hosts tonight. I'm joined by your other hosts. It's a Maxwell housewife living in a crunchy mom's world. Kwana, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I missed you guys. I realized that you're my only output, like actual verbal output. Like I talk to people online and stuff, but
Human,
You have a
like
family,
human
Quana. Come
output.
on.
Like
that's where I
you,
get
you
all
know,
my words out.
you talk to other living creatures a lot. Just human. Or you're,
Yes,
it's
that's
okay.
what I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
Humans. Oh yeah, I do. I do mostly talk to the animals. You're right.
Yeah. So
Yes, that's what I
yeah,
mean. That's what I mean. So I missed you
yeah.
guys. Happy to be back. It's good to see
Same
everybody
to
tonight at the
you.
happy
Same to you.
hour.
Same to
If
both of
you're
you.
listening to this, we host a happy hour on the Friday nights that we do the pod. Come to our group and
Yeah. So
we'll
what
hang
is it?
out.
Endless Runners Facebook.
It's
It's
7
fun.
Central. It starts at 7 Central,
Yeah.
Yep.
5 Pacific.
We have a lot of
Get on
fun.
board.
There's stories. People tell about what they did for the weekend. They
Yeah.
talk about all
Give
kinds
you
of
a rundown
colorful
on
things.
how
All
they
kinds of stuff. What their friends did last weekend and like what their friends are like
Yeah.
doing to each
Getting
other, stuff
into.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rich.
Extracurricular. Yeah.
it was eye-opening.
Yeah.
And then there's the man with the plan. It's producer Manny. What's going down, mole man?
I am concerned that California weather isn't living up to its California weather reputation. It's been
Oh yeah,
rather
what's
gloomy these
wrong?
past I don't know, 3 weeks now, it feels like.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's a shame.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the fact that, the city is still being rebuilt and a lot of people lost their homes. I understand. I myself am not back home yet, hopefully by May, but the weather, man.
Yeah.
Is it bad vibes or is it like, or is there something? Yeah, is there some weather? How are they explaining this out there?
So Quan and I have another weather conspiracy related chat, and it's just nothing but weather conspiracy talk. So I don't know. There's too much in the
Oh,
air
damn
to
it.
not be able to. Yeah.
I'm sorry
It's
they're doing this
it's
to you.
cold here and I keep getting those advisories on my truck that like a winter storm's coming in. I'm like, yesterday it was completely
Where?
sunny. Today it's overcast and yucky out, but it's like just waiting for this California
Hmm.
to
We're
yeah.
turning into the Pacific Southwest, if anything,
Yeah,
as
it's kind of
opposed.
rain, it's kind of gloomy. A
Yeah.
little gloomy. Last year at this time, Facebook gives you like the look back. I was tan and I was laying
Burning in the
out in my
sun.
backyard. Yeah, I was laying out in my backyard and it was hot and I was tan and it's not, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I'm, still having to bundle up to walk the dogs. So, anyways, enough
It's
about the
all that
weather.
cloud seeding. It's all
Yeah,
the
I think
cloud
it
seeding.
it seems pretty normal here. I don't know.
All
Well,
right.
you've been having some weird, but
Sorry.
who knows? Let's just get off that shit anyway. We do enough of that at the happy
No,
hour.
I was noting that there haven't been as many April showers, but it's
Yeah.
still, we still have like 5 or 6 days left, so we'll see.
The
All
countdown
right.
begins, my friend.
But that's fine too because last year it rained an it was like there was an insane amount of rain here last year in April, May.
So you're saying it's been a balancing act. It's been balancing itself out. Nature's
I'm not really
healing is
saying
what you're saying.
anything. Yeah, that is what
Okay.
I'm saying. Yes, yeah. First I wasn't saying anything and then you said something and I was like that's what I'm saying.
Our flowers are all blooming. So we didn't get April showers, but our May flowers are already here because my neighborhood smells
Hmm.
delightful. There's just flower smell everywhere.
Hmm.
Anyways, how's Frisco, Texas? You're like in the hub of the news stories, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's been there hasn't been a lot of new news on that for the last week or so. Where you're talking about, yeah, there was like a just a terrible thing happened here. I guess it's been almost a month or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a stabbing, like a high school kid stabbed another high school kid at a track meet here at our district stadium. Yeah, I don't even know what the, it's like yeah, it was pretty pretty much a big story here in everybody's mind, I think, for the last few weeks, maybe up until the last week or so, where there hasn't been a lot of news.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, maybe, yeah, it's just tragic. It's really sad. Yeah,
Yeah. Are
it's
you
been kind
feeling
of
that in the community? Like, does it feel weird when you go out to the
um
grocery stores? Are people looking at you different?
no, no, I don't
Good.
know, nothing like that. I think, but I'm sure that people are weirded out a little bit because the amount of support for because of the kid that did the stabbing, like,
Right.
has had a lot of financial support, a lot of like vocal
Right.
support saying that,
Yeah.
the kid that he killed had it coming, stuff like
Is he
that.
still in
That's
school?
not
He's got
going
to be
over
in
well.
school, right? Is he going
No,
to school or no?
No.
Okay.
he's he was in jail for I don't know, almost like 3 weeks maybe. Then
Okay.
he got released, and then he got put in. Then they moved like the family. It's just there's a lot of like bullshit going on around it. It's hard to talk about because it's like to describe it, you have to kind of describe all the bullshit and all
Yeah.
of like the this side said this bullshit, this side said that bullshit. Um, yeah, but so yeah, they he got out and then they moved into like a gated community and people were up in arms about that. But it's like, well, that
Sure. They
that's a
might
high
need a little
profile
protection.
case. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they need to be in an area where like people can't just be driving through on the way
Sure.
to CVS. Like,
Yeah.
let's check it out.
Yeah.
Let's check out the killer's house.
Yeah.
Um, I guess they got a new car. People made a big deal out of that. It's like, well,
But
to
it
be
was like a
fair, they're gonna
used
be
car. It was his birthday, right? Like it, no?
no, that picture was old.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
Thank God.
that picture more signifies or indicates that that they were actually kind of a normal American family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Which again, like kind of like when the
Gotcha.
dust settles, I think that might be the case. Like when the dust settles, like even though they're all, there's a defense going on now, and they're going to do whatever, say whatever they got to do to keep their son out of prison
Yeah.
for as long as possible. It's just,
Sure.
you know, their son put them in this position where they have to do that. But anyway, there's a lot of terrible stuff going on, and it's like they got like a new car, I think, but it's also
Okay.
like, well, they're going to be driving a lot to back and forth, and they need like to
I don't
court to
know.
attorneys, like they don't like
It
like
just
the old
doesn't.
family car.
But I guess the
I don't
people
know.
that are donating the money don't care. It's the other people that care. So
That's
whatever.
part of it. That's part of it too. Like there's an atmosphere of there's a local activist group that's supporting that family, the family of the alleged killer, and they have money, I guess, or they smell money, so they're just like
Oh, gotcha.
willing to put forth money and like like lease a car
Yeah.
because I guess like if you're thinking you're going into like a high profile case, then now all of a sudden like your whole family's in the car all the time. You're not driving. There's someone driving you. You're in the car with your attorney.
Right.
I'm being as generous
That's
as I
so,
can
yeah, I was
be.
gonna say that seems pretty generous. So they bought an Escalade. Is that what
Well,
you're saying? Is that like they
it
bought a
looks
car
like
that,
it.
okay.
That's the story.
So they bought a
But
hundred and
I
sixty
wouldn't even,
thousand
just like,
or
well,
hundred
but like
thousand
just
dollar
like you
car.
said, like when I was saying they didn't buy a house,
Right.
like you were like
Yeah,
they're
they're
renting a
renting
house
a house,
temporarily. And I
but they
guess
bought a car.
they've moved from that place.
Oh,
Or
again.
I'm gonna guess they're probably leasing the car, or like the organization that's supporting them is leasing the car
Sure.
and will be paid back at a premium because they're probably looking at it like, wow, this family's got so much money rolling in from donations. We can rent a car for them and charge them, 20% on top.
Wow. Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot.
just, I mean, that's conjecture, but, and I'm being generous. I'm being generous because in this community, because this all happened like in like my, my children's like school district.
Your son will eventually have track meets at
He's
that
been,
same field.
we've
Yeah.
been, he's been to track meets at that stadium. We've been to youth football for my nephews, for my son, for high school football. We've been to the stadium countless times where it happened. So
Right.
it kind of hits close to home.
Sure.
But saying that, um, I'm being generous because in this community, there's no like bad side of town.
Right.
Like in this community, it sounds weird, but it's a weird place to be because everybody's a winner in this community. Everybody's a winner. Every school is kick ass.
Right.
All the teachers are great. None of the football or sports programs are underfunded. like they, if you're and like both of these kids, by all reports, were starting linebackers on their high school football varsity team. Like
Yeah.
in this community, this is not like what you might think in like Baltimore City or something. Like not I
Sure.
don't even know what
Oakland. Um,
or like old stuff. This is a community where if you're a starting linebacker, like you're loved. Like all the parents know your name,
right.
white, black, whoever they are, like Asian, they all know your name. All your teachers are treating you special.
Sure.
So it's like both of these kids, and there's not like a bad side of town
Yeah.
where, where like, well, there's the projects over there. Everybody lives in a nice house. Everybody goes to school in a nice car, and it's just yeah, like one kid died and one kid just threw his whole life away that had a pretty awesome life in front of him.
Right. So
So
sad.
yeah, it is.
Are you hearing any like from like your son, like the rumor mill or whatever? Like, was it about a
Not
girl?
really.
Was it really what they're saying? Like he was just in the tent and they didn't
No,
want him
none of
in the
that's true.
tent?
Yeah,
Okay.
it all happened, like everything happened in like a minute,
Yeah.
maybe two or whatever, but there was none of the rumors of all that stuff are true. They weren't fighting over a girl. They weren't bullying him. They didn't know each other. Well, again, I don't know what happened in that minute or two, but they didn't know each other. There wasn't a previous altercation.
That's so sad.
Yeah,
Gosh.
it's terrible. Yeah, it's like really, yeah. And it's also kind of, for me as kind of an observer, it's also kind of fascinating because this town that we live in, and we're in that school district, but we live technically in a different city or whatever you want
Mhm.
to call it.
Okay.
But this area, this community is going to get really kind of torn apart by this. Like it's going to be, yeah,
Yeah, that's my question. Is that like
it's going to be pretty strange.
like a race war type thing or like
Here you go.
I don't know that you can
no, I'm
really have
asking
that.
like that's a real question.
There's going to be a lot of that tension, but I don't know that you can really have that because the percentages are so low and like the balance. Like I know that like
Mhm.
that's what the country is, but here I think like the mix of African Americans, whatever, is even lower than national. So
Right.
I don't know. It's hard to. There's going to be a lot of tension. But then
But
I mean, some
there's a lot of white hate for their own selves, you know what I mean? Like people could like be like absorbing that, you know what I mean? Like
I
it's
wonder. Yeah, I wonder. There
a
is
lot
that.
of
I think
white hatred
this area
self-inflicted.
people are doing pretty well, so they're probably more prone to kind of sign off on all the
Yeah,
whatever current event the current thing is. But
sure.
I think that there are a lot of people that are probably woken up a little bit because when they look at like the GoFundMe for the or Give Send Go for the accused killer, alleged killer,
Right.
whatever, um,
Crazy.
like there's a lot of money rolling in and all the comments, like people aren't just sending money anonymously. They're like sending money
Yeah.
in and being like, you keep doing what you got to do. Those bullies had to pay. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy, like the reverse racism that um,
Yeah.
some people, it's hard to say what percentage, but
Right.
it seems like a lot of people are kind of signing on to, yeah, that kid had he had it coming. It's
That's
like, well,
just insane.
it really is insane to be to have
An
to
opinion about an aside so fast, right?
well, well, if you think about what they're saying, it's like they're saying that if someone like grabs your shoulders,
Mm,
you can stab them in the heart.
right.
Like, do we
Well, I like that
do
the
we
dad
do
went
we
to the press
really do we
conference as the
really
same.
well, do we really want that to be the threshold? You know what I mean?
Right.
Does any group of people,
Right.
whether you're the majority, whether you're a minority, like especially if does anybody like want that to be the threshold for like when you can just stab someone in the heart? Like, well,
Hmm.
he grabbed my shoulders.
Right.
Instead I had to move. So it's like, okay, well, I think that's been proven a lot of time, most of the times in America, where it's like that was not like for like. You c- like
I mean, stabbing someone
it'd
is
be one
very,
thing. It'd be
it's
one thing
crazy.
if someone, yeah, it'd be one thing if someone grabbed your shoulders and was like, you got to get out of here, and you punched them really hard and hit them in the face, and
Hmm.
they fell down and hit their head on a corner
Yeah.
and they got hurt. It's like, okay, that was a freak thing, but it's like, no,
Horrible.
you got a knife out and you were just like, I'm gonna stab you in the heart. Which I have doubts whether or not this kid, guy, whatever, thought like he knew what he was gonna do, like what was gonna
Why did
happen.
he have the knife though? That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's the,
that's real
that's
sketchy. That's kind of a crime in itself. Like if you're not supposed to have it, then that's a crime in itself that
yeah,
maybe that leads to maybe that has an effect on the crime he's charged with.
sure.
But
Hopefully.
I'm kind of you're 17 years old, you live in Texas, you can have a knife
Yeah.
on you. Like I know like you're going to a school function, so you're technically not supposed to have a
Oh,
knife on
gotcha.
you, but it's like you're 17 years old, you can drive, like can
Yeah, but you would have
you
to
should
have like
probably
that
have
knife
a
had to have
pocket
been
knife, but
out, right? Like it had to
he
have
was
been out
reaching in
and
his I think the story is he reached in his like as the conversation or whatever was happening, he reached in his backpack.
okay.
So yeah, I
That's
mean, I wouldn't want some kid. Again, this is Texas too. This is not like I don't know, other like New York City where everything's metal detectors
sure.
so I wouldn't necessarily want like a 17-year-old kid, senior high school, like being charged with a crime because he brought a knife to school, like or to a track meet in his backpack.
Oh, like put a
That's just
premeditation
me.
onto that. Is that what
Yeah,
you
that's
mean?
just me. Yeah, that's just me
Gotcha.
because it's
Because
like,
we're not allowed to bring any weapons to school in
yeah.
California. Like that's just it's just not a
Now I
thing, right?
know like
Yeah.
they could get him on a technicality where it's just like, well, no, sorry, on a technically you had to have thought about it. So you had to have known you're bringing a weapon onto school. You know the rules, but it's like again, I'm kind of more like you're 17, you're going to a track meet. That doesn't mean you can't have something to cut a box open or defend yourself. Whatever, defend yourself for real. Like for real, defend yourself, not
Interesting.
someone grabbed my shoulders and now I get to stab him in the heart. So I'm not
Right.
like I draw a real. I mean, I want to make real clear. Like, there's a big difference between I carried a pocket knife in my backpack because I've had to throw out two pocket knives in the last like
Sure.
5 or 6 years because I've gone to like a stadium or whatever, and they're just like it wanted you, and you're just like, do I walk back to my car for 20 minutes or do
Right.
I just throw away this $20, $30 pocket knife? And it's just like fuck. So it's
Gotcha. So
like
you're a
it can
pocket knife
That's a
happen.
power
carrier.
move right there, Chris.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah. So it's like I don't really,
Okay.
but yeah, like they got them on a technicality there because it's like these kids know the rules. And it's like, yes,
Yeah.
you are a 17-year-old,
And you
you
are
know,
on
but
school time. Even if you go to something off campus, like if you're bus there, or even if like your parents drive you, you're still on the school's
yeah,
protection or under the school's order. So if the rule is no, I don't know what the rule is in Texas. Can you open carry at school in Texas?
no,
Okay, well then, I mean,
no.
you shouldn't have
Texas is
had
a
it with them.
constitutional carry state. So you can pretty much carry anywhere, but there are, yeah, like you can't go to like a high school
There's
football
limits.
game.
And you're a minor, and also
Yeah, I
there's
think
that,
you have to be
right?
18. You have to be 18 in
Isn't
Texas.
there
So
like a length on the blade too? Do we know what the length on the blade was? Was it really
I
a
don't
pocket
know. I
knife?
mean,
Okay, I'm just wondering.
I mean, again, it's Texas, so it's like
Yeah,
I don't really
Everything's
want,
bigger in Texas, so
that's
who,
what I've
yeah,
heard.
like really, who's to say? Like, like who's to say if like a 3 or 4 inch blade is like,
Right.
I mean, the Second
yeah.
Amendment is not just
I was
guns,
asking.
right? The
Okay.
Second
Oh.
Amendment's not just guns. So
Hmm.
To bear arms. Yeah.
it isn't.
Right.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Yeah.
So, um, so, but I mean, yeah, but still, I'm being very generous because I've been to this stadium. I've literally been to this stadium countless times the last year or two for high school football games, just because my son is, big in middle school football and really excited about playing in high school. Been to the
Yeah.
Right.
stadium. He won his youth football Super Bowl at the stadium.
Right. Yeah.
And I think I've seen both my two of my the three of my younger my young nephews win win trophies at this stadium. So yeah, it's I've been to the stadium and I've just been around all these kids and like high school players
Yeah.
and they're all running together. There's not a racial thing. I mean, I'm sure there is to some degree because I'm not going to be naive, right? But like at
Hmm.
these games at the stadium, these kids are all kicking ass. Like they're all coddled, to be real
Right.
fair.
Yeah.
They're all coddled by their teachers. They're being recruited.
Sports are big in
Um,
Texas,
they are.
right? It's, I mean,
This is not. Yeah, this is not like the Detroit city school system where they're wearing 7-year-old uniforms. They're getting new stuff every year. They got
yeah.
giant inflatables. They got giant, like giant mega, like big. What do they call it? Jumbotron screens where you see replays of
Yeah.
high school games. So it's like these kids are all winners and they're all going places. And if you're like a thug and like a real shithead, like you're not like in this area, you're not going to be a starting linebacker for your team. So like
Mm.
something doesn't add up that this kid was a thug. There's no streets around here. So there's no street.
No,
There's no
no
kids running the
dangerous.
streets.
Okay.
No, there's none of that. So it's like you're in the suburbs, like worst case, you're talking trash on Call of Duty or something,
Gotcha.
you know.
Or Snapchat. There could be like
So
cyberbullying,
yeah,
maybe.
like that kind of stuff. Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Or
like it's
girls.
not.
I mean, people do stuff for, I mean, look at Club Shay Shay. Look at that guy. People do
That's
all
what a
kinds
lot
of
of the
stuff for
things were.
girls.
Yeah, a lot of the things were about like they were fighting over a girl, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, that kind of like we've all
That
been
adds
there.
up. Yeah, that adds
But not
up.
worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
Club
no.
Shay Shay is going to be talking about this story anytime soon.
Yeah, no. No, no, no. He's
Do you know?
I,
Do you know who
is
Shannon
he a
Sharp
weak
is? Were you aware of who he is, who he was, or is
from the
before
Cat
this all?
Williams? So,
Oh,
so
okay,
from the
okay,
Cat Williams video, but or
okay.
interview, and then the Kamala one, I watched that. I've watched a couple of his, the bigger ones, the notable ones, things that people are talking about. I try and get my own thoughts about it. So, yeah.
I don't think I watched the Kamala one.
Yeah.
Kamala,
How was it?
am I saying
They
it
like
like
shared some
Kamala?
brown beverage and it was fine. I mean, it felt like her other ones, like very,
It was just
I don't
standard
think I
Kamala.
watched
yeah,
it. I don't think I watched it, but I think, you can kind of tell by the reaction of the mob that it just wasn't much.
right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like if the mob has a hard time like
It was hard to
creating a
swallow. Yeah.
narrative about
Yeah.
anything, it's like, okay, nothing really happened there.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much what people said, but just like a
Yeah.
fluff.
Yeah. I've watched a couple of other ones too. I I didn't know, did I know he was in football? I knew he was in football because Adam Carolla was talking about it and his brother is also in football.
Sterling. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Sterling, I don't really see him around much. I don't know if he had health problems or what, but he was kind of a more prim and proper version of the
Okay.
Sharp brothers. I
Hmm.
Okay.
think he might have worn like a bow tie even,
Okay. Yeah.
but like no like, hardcore dude, but like more classic suit wearing guy.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know that his brother Sterling's been on TV for a while. That's why I just thought a health problem or something. But
Maybe.
yeah,
Or maybe just, doesn't need the limelight like his brother.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Shannon Sharp's getting wrecked now.
I
That's too
can't
bad for
imagine.
him. I mean, he was a Raven too. He won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore
Oh,
Ravens. That was pretty cool. Like that. But yeah, it's. But I also find him very annoying. I've found him very annoying for years
okay.
because he's just like a I wouldn't
What
call
is
him a
it about him that
mush
annoyed you?
mouth, but just it's just like blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know. I have a hard time.
He looks
Uh,
yucky. He's got like he just has a weirdness. Like I don't, some people just are, ugh. Yeah, and he
yeah, I
has
remember
that.
they called him horseface back then, but it's like he was a like I
Is
didn't
he?
really think much of that, but because he was a Raven,
Yeah.
he was a winner, but man, I guess just dude just never grew up. Happens,
Yeah.
happens.
Clearly still
Yeah,
in his
never
50s
grew
and
up in
likes
like
the 19 year
really,
olds.
really bad judgment, really bad
Yeah.
judgment, like
Yeah.
really bad.
Well,
Like
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Has he ever been accused of the Diddy parties? No, he was learning about the Diddy parties from Cat Williams.
he
Okay.
has been.
Yeah.
I guess there's been some other lawsuits settled because when he
Oh,
was at
okay.
Fox Sports, there was a lawsuit settled that, of course, no
Interesting.
one's allowed to talk about, but there's,
Yeah.
salacious leaks coming out about it.
Oh,
So,
love a leak.
yeah. And some of those leaks kind of jibe with
Hmm.
some of the text messaging thing. I don't know. I don't know. Jason Whitlock's, of course, having a field day.
I can't. Yeah, I might have to listen to his take on it. Who one of the grumpy
I
bastards mentioned that it
I
was
can't
pretty
I can't
juicy. I
because
might have
he's
to
just
listen.
because I mean, like it's like even if you love Jason Whitlock, he's been proven so he's got to feel so vindicated or so
Yeah,
that I can't even tune in because he's gonna pretend like it's like he's still being very fair.
sure.
He's gotta pretend like he's not just freaking
More like a
elated.
moral high ground, right?
Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's gotta pretend like he's not overjoyed by the fact that Shannon Sharp's career is just taking a dump and he just
That's so
blew
funny.
$100 million contract.
That's
Because they're all
funny.
just like, "Oh, Jason Whitlock, you're an Uncle Tom. You work for the Blaze."
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp's like, "Oh, your contract is
Ugh.
you can work for I don't know,
I mean,
what
so
they'll do."
his
But
podcast will still be
he'll
fine. It's
land
just,
probably
right?
he'll land on his feet
It's a
because to
weekly
be
Yeah.
honest,
podcast. It's not a daily podcast, right? He
I guess so,
the
yeah.
the
Well, his
the
contract just ended with one network and he was about to sign on with a new network. So I guess he'll have to maybe
so
go
what's it called?
solo or he'll have
The
to
the
sign on with
Hoteps
Ace Network that Adam Kroll is.
the Hotep said that he was at the draft. They said he was at the draft, and one of them, I don't know the difference. That's why when I was like, I can't wait to hear what
Hmm.
Hotep Jesus had to say,
Well,
and you
that's
were
a
like, well, he's going to say this. I can't tell them apart. I can't tell their voices apart. I've never seen their faces, so I
what?
don't. I don't watch them. I just listen. So I
Okay.
don't. I don't know which one's which, but I'm just saying that they said that he was at the draft, and the smoother voice one said, "Yeah, you shouldn't lay low. Like, don't cancel yourself." Like that's the trick. You don't cancel yourself. So he's at the draft acting like at
Yeah.
existing as if nothing happened.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's not canceling himself, but I watched a shit ton of the draft, like all last night and all like a lot of this evening. And they never showed Shannon Sharp on camera ever. They never
They were
mentioned him. No
counting
one ever talked to
um
him. So it's like I'll like he may have shown up there to be like nothing. There's no problem, but like the NFL broadcast wanted no part of him because yeah,
Yeah.
they were
yeah.
talking about snow bunnies they weren't talking
Oh
about
yeah.
girls, right? They were, or were they were talking about
Oh
like
yeah, it was noticeable.
light-skinned, oh, a
Oh,
lot of
not
white
light.
women,
Well, light skinned. I guess that's one way to describe
light-skinned players, or
completely
like
like
women that were
Swedish girls
at the draft.
at the draft. Like yeah, it was pretty noticeable that a lot of the um, you know, African American
Okay.
top first round draft picks that were there at the event had hot blondes next to them.
Okay. I was
So they'd
like,
be
what are
like,
they talking about?
I mean, it's
And then
just
they
like you do
said
the
that,
you watch it and you do the math because you're just like, oh, okay, he's just hugging an older man that's his dad. He just hugged an older woman that looks like him. It's his mom, and then like he turns aside, and there's like a skinny blonde girl.
okay, not his
That's like,
sister. Probably
Needle
oh,
not
that
his
must be
sister.
his.
trash.
No, it must be his agent.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. All right.
Maybe
Well,
trainer,
they were doing like accounting for that. And
accountant.
I was like, okay, all right. Okay, I'm out. I'll never get their
That
take
was
on Shay Shay.
it was pretty something. But yeah, they go on a long time. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard. Yeah, I mean, Shannon Sharp, it's like he didn't really commit any crimes, but just yeah, I guess at some point you get to an age and everybody's just like, man, you're that old and you got that bad a judgment.
Yeah.
That's messing with white men. Stop messing with white women. I
Yeah.
keep telling people, man.
Manny is so racist towards white women. I'm sorry to all of our white women fans. I mean, gosh dang it. Manny's got
Well,
a bad taste in his mouth for white women.
it's not like I'm not even sure they could like just wipe him alone, but like he was getting into a lot of the like I think if a white woman alone just said, "Oh, he did this," they'd be like, "Whatever." But like he was like getting into a lot of they were doing a lot of the race talk.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was
like
making
getting a
her
lot of
call him
like,
bad names?
yeah,
What?
I'm not really comfortable.
Is that
No, I think she
okay?
was volunteer. It was basic. Yeah, like she was like
She whipping
She
him?
there
was
was
the one
some
hurling the.
weird, and I'm just like I'm just going on. I'm not even going off with like white people. I'm going off of like what like there's an article in the Root. Okay, there's
I'm
Black
sorry, the
Twitter.
root. Oh, okay.
I forgot
Yeah,
you're on Black Twitter.
like just going off what they're saying is like yeah like they're not really like buying. I don't know. They're just like you can't really do all that race talk and like that was a lot of it's a lot of weird. Like I think
Okay.
it's like
And now I'm gonna have to
the
read the
tone of the
text messages.
reactions. The tone of the reactions was we get it. There's a weird racial dynamic going on there. There has been for a century or so, and but like you're a wealthy man like in 2025 like you don't really need to be entering into that kind of talk like
Right.
Mhm.
as if you're on like a plantation or something like that with the
R-
missus
Yeah.
like is real suspect these days like aren't we trying to get past that era like aren't we trying to like move on to
This
where
we
like
should
we're
be
all
better. We should
equal
be
and
doing better.
humans and not like get into like weird interracial sex talk like yeah so like the I think the most responses are just like bro like from his community is like you did this to yourself like this was
Yeah.
real like bro like what are you doing like
I don't think it's his first incident too. Like you said, there's other maybe settlements or whatever. So I think it's like you haven't learned your lesson. It's like getting a third DUI. Like, bro, what the actual frick are you doing, right?
yeah I mean yeah that's a good
He's
comparison I
addicted
guess just
to white women, sounds like.
well
I heard Monique,
Crazy white
remember
women.
Robbie
that or
shared the
Yeah.
just like
video of Monique
feeling
like yelling at him?
Yeah.
yeah that's right yeah
So
I mean, that's one of the things the Hotep said back a year ago when the Club Shay Shay podcast had Cat Williams on, and he was exposing all the black entertainers, like,
yeah, P. Diddy.
and because the Hoteps at that point were just like, this is really entertaining, but is this what Shannon Sharp's podcast is all about? Just like having Cat Williams come on and tell you that Kevin Hart did gay stuff and
Yeah.
like, like just like telling it was like yeah, I think it was kind of legitimate too. They were like, "Is that what this format's all about? Is just having African American entertainers come on and tell on each other,
Yeah.
just like tear
Yeah.
each other down and like, and
Yeah.
that was legitimate. But then it's like, but then man, it all kind of came full circle, and it turns out that this guy was, just doing just getting his freak on, letting all his basest desires control him, which every man has been there before, but you kind of hope you kind of
In your
gotten that out of your
50s,
system in your
maybe you can
20s or
cleanse your
yeah, or
palate.
your 50s or your 50s. Yeah, I was gonna say 20s or 30s, maybe 40s, but you're being pretty generous.
Definitely probably your 50s. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
I
But
think what is it? It's just part of who they are, man. Some people do mature, and other people just take whatever they are to their grave. They never
Oh,
shake that
yeah,
yeah.
shit
there's like
off.
a combination, like there's a weird dynamic of I think most people, normal people, are forced to mature.
Mm,
Hmm.
Like you don't have a choice because it's like you're not Shannon Sharp, you're not on
Right.
ESPN, like you don't
Yeah.
have
true. You're not over there breaking records
you
in the
can't
yeah, yeah.
you
You
can't
can't do what
afford to
Shannon
basic.
did.
I mean, he was essentially like paying hookers because
Right.
these were like OnlyFan models. That was like I think it was pretty like maybe no laws were broken, but it's pretty clear there was like a
You don't feel like an
like a
OnlyFan model. I understand that they're
payment
like,
system going on here.
yeah, okay. I mean, I guess that is prostitution. But like you're not
Yeah.
touching OnlyFan models,
Maybe
right?
not
Like,
technically.
yeah.
No, but
Uh again, I
that's
don't
the
I
thing.
don't never
It
been
works as
there, but I
that.
gotta think that just knowing humanity,
Right.
like some
There are
OnlyFans
arrangements made.
models are gonna be like, pay me for sex. But they're not gonna
Oh,
like
gotcha.
they're not gonna
Gotcha.
really there's not gonna be any
Okay.
code.
They're not
You
all
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
knitting on
You're
there.
not
All
gonna
right, I
have to be
gotcha.
on a
exactly.
web like a secret website.
All right.
There's some that are gonna just be like, I'm available to the highest bidder.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's the gym I go to.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so
All right.
just again, just knowing humanity and knowing that, yeah, people will submit to their basest desires, like and do or say whatever they have to do to or say to
I
like
mean,
attain those things.
look at Kanye saying some of the craziest things he's been saying lately.
Bro, Kanye traumatized us all this weekend. Traumatized us all. I was like,
If he's gonna come back and be like, I was just kidding. It's like,
I mean, think about his poor cousin in prison that's been
yeah,
bragging
that's
about
not.
being Kanye's fucking cousin all this
Yeah, I've been
time. And
meaning.
now he's like,
Well, not really, because I don't really want to investigate this on the internet, but it's like I've kind of been curious. I guess I've been like mildly curious, passively curious, like, is the cousin he's talking about still alive?
I have so many questions. I had to
Because that's
unfollow.
not
I
cool.
unfollowed
That's not really
all the
cool.
Kanye stuff. I don't want to even hear his name again. I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna like keep
You
my
seem to
old
be particularly
Kanye.
taken aback by this story. Yes, I've noticed that. Like, yeah,
It's just a lot. That's a
well,
lot to put out in the streets, right?
it is. Yeah,
And how old was the
all of a
cousin?
sudden,
What's
like
the
that, like you
age
need to give
difference
people
of
some
him and the
notice.
cousin? What's the age difference of him and the cousin? Is he telling us that like, are they close in age or was the cousin little? Like, I have so many questions.
Yeah, that's why I said, yeah, like I'm afraid to
He
ask
traumatized
questions.
us all. I know. No one needed
Yeah.
that. It's Easter. It's just
I guess they were both
Easter.
underage. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, they're both underage, but he's 16, maybe the cousin's 8. Yeah, they're both
mhm.
underage, but I need to know how old the cousin is. I got
Where's it
questions.
gonna like so like my Kanye's on the list, my list of people that will not die of natural causes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like there's just no
I
way.
didn't know you had such a
But
list.
what if he does? Like, I mean, and he just keeps ramping up. Like, what's he gonna be talking about when he's 75? You know what I mean? Like
It's like
what
acting like he wants custody of his kids. Oh, you just talked about sucking your baby cousin's penis. You're not getting, like, you should not have full access to your kids.
well, yeah, I guess
He said that it was
probably
the like
not.
Playboy
I don't know
magazine
how
made him
you
do
I don't
it.
know where
And
the family
meanwhile, the
court comes
wife
down on that.
is like running around naked all over town and everywhere. It's like she's naked all the time. I've seen every
Oh,
part
that's
of
true.
her.
Yeah, that's not.
Where are your
Yeah, those kids
kids?
are, yeah.
You can't take your wife to Chuck E. Cheese dressed like that. Not even in LA. Come on.
I hope they're going to leave him a lot of money or something, at least.
He loses, he's
That'd be
like
pretty
goes
crazy.
bankrupt and then he's a billionaire again. He's like, I'm gonna be another billionaire, and then he's a billionaire again. I'm done. I don't want to know about Kanye anymore. I don't want to know about his
Well, you have no
money. I don't
choice.
know what
We
I'm
have, we have
trying.
no
I'm
choice.
trying to like
As
block
long as
the
X
this.
exists, we will all hear
But
about his
what's it
weirdness.
gonna be next? Like, what if he go? I mean, like, he's gonna be like, well, yeah, me and some aliens,
This is your last
it's
Kanye
gonna
news
be,
for me. I'm telling you right now. I've unfollowed all the people
yeah,
that talk about him. Like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm done. I was like writing for him. I'm like, you're just a Gemini. We're misunderstood. We're misunderstood. He's a Gemini. They don't get us.
I know. My neighbor's a
Motherfucker, I don't
Gemini.
get
My
you.
neighbor's a Gemini, and they were selling these swastika T-shirts just like Kanye. Just like, I guess it's just a Gemini thing. No, yeah, maybe this is the thing that like maybe
Pushes
this is the
even
thing
the
where
swastika 11 Browns over the edge.
next time next time he does something controversial, people will be like, all right, no, bro. Like we're you lost us at the cousin story, the KFC story.
Yeah, it wasn't the hood. It wasn't the big pointed hood that you wore
Yep,
on the
yep. Wasn't
interview
even
a
the
week
swastika
before that.
t-shirts. It was more like the okay, all right. That's like the visuals of the t-shirts. That was offensive, like deeply
Mhm.
offensive. But
Like this.
the latest, I mean, and I guess it was like a rap song. Like he did a rap about it. It wasn't even like a
So I hit
I don't know.
Bill with news.
Was it like a sick beat? Was it to like a sick beat?
I hit Bill with news, and the way that he wrote that, it was like the last line. So I read it to him, like, you're not gonna believe what Kanye just did. And I read it to him, and he was said, oh, what? Couldn't
Why are
even,
you trying to destroy your man's calm? Like why can't you just let your guy be? Like, what are you doing that
no
to him
man
for?
is
Is he
calm in
asking
my
you?
presence, sir. That
Is
is
he
not
like,
my goal in this life.
is he like, oh, good morning, Quana? Like, tell me the worst fucking thing you could possibly tell me. Is that what he says? Is that what he's asking for you for?
Well, he turns on Fox News, so he must be. I try and hit him
It's
with the
like
real news.
Valentine's Day comes around. The card says roses are red, violets are blue. Tell me the most horrific freaking entertainment, horrible sex, gay sex story possible. Is that what it says? No. Why
No,
are you doing that to
that's
him? Like,
that's my happy hour. Thanks, Jane.
okay, it's like, why are you doing that to him?
Yeah, he was
He
very
could be oblivious. He
uncomfortable.
could be
I felt really
oblivious.
bad. Yeah.
He can be
Well, now we're both
oblivious.
going to be oblivious because I don't want to know about it. I'm done with Kanye and his weirdness.
Yeah,
He
maybe this is
can,
it. Maybe this is the
uh,
one that people are just like, nah, man, I'm done with your,
yeah. I mean, I might hear about him on the Kardashians because sometimes I still guilt watch that, but
I guess it'll be really whether or not you see the whatever his shoes were, the
my
Yeshuzis
God.
or
Oh,
I don't know what you call them, the Yeezys at
yeah.
Marshalls. When you see them at
Remember those
Marshalls,
boots? Remember those boots?
I really don't. I don't remember.
Oh
I don't,
my
yeah, that stuff
God.
doesn't make it to me. Because to
Well,
me,
You're
like a
in.
lot of the, like, I mean, shoes to me are confusing because uh, people will buy the shoes now and wear them, but they were the shoes that poor kids wore when I was in middle school.
right.
You know what I mean? Like the gray New Balance shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like people,
Yeah.
pay like $90 for those now. And it's like, man, when I was in sixth grade at Perry
Sure.
Hall Middle School, you wore those to school. You might get
Yeah.
you might get a super wedgie. You might get an
Sure.
atomic wedgie. You might get shoved in the corner, like shoved in your locker for wearing shoes
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you see like people in like the 2000s and 2010, 20s, like buying, like paying a lot of money for those shoes. Like those were the cheapest
Yep.
shoes possible.
Yeah.
We've come full circle, man.
Crazy.
That's all I got to say
Yeah.
about shoes.
Well, I mean, nowadays the shoes, did you hear with the
No, don't
like
get me started on
mar
those fuckers.
the Chinese like I don't want to say marketers. What am I thinking? What's the word? I'm manufacturers.
Communists.
The ones that manufacture like the Chanel bags and the
They're coming out, yeah, and they're saying it's all made cheaply over here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. 99-cent store, 20-cent store. And they're like, buy it from us directly. They're letting people buy directly.
Yeah, yeah. There's crazy stories about what China is doing right now. I said
Yeah,
that with a Y.
I love it.
I don't ever say it or
Of
spell it
course.
properly.
Why would you?
But like, yeah, there's crazy stories about how there's containers and containers of like plastic goods that
Hmm.
are stacking up. Factories
Sure.
are shutting down, but the thing is that there's just a weird little angle here to it all where they have a hard time selling those goods to domestically to like Chinese people because they're too good. They're too nice. Like
Is that
like
not what
that's
they
what
want? Don't
no,
you
like
want durability
they're
and
like we're like
quality?
if you think we're price conscious at Walmart, like I don't want to pay three I don't want I'm not paying $4 for a hairbrush. $3 is the tops, you
Oh,
know. They're like
okay.
they're like two $1 for a hairbrush. Are you joking? Like 10
This
cents
price is
is
outrageous.
so like
Oh,
even
right,
like
right, right.
so like the cheap hairbrushes that they're making for Walmart that we buy for $3 that last, I don't know, 3 years maybe.
Yeah,
Like that's like too rich for their blood. So they're having a and I'm not trying to be well, I'm not trying to be, I just am against them. But like that's like a weird dynamic to where even like the cheap stuff that we think is cheap that comes to our Walmarts is like a little bit too high end and too expensive for them.
right,
So when this stuff starts piling up, even though they've got, whatever 1 point so whatever billion people, they can't offload all these cheap hairbrushes because they're kind of too nice and they're too expensive.
right,
They're used to like just having a like a goody goody comb like we had when we were in elementary school for,
right,
25 cents.
right.
So, I mean, it's not like a, I mean, it's an insult if they take it that way. Good, but it's more just it's more like a perspective thing.
Yeah,
So like that stuff's piling up, and they're like, well, can we try to sell this stuff like domestically to our own people? And they're just like, no,
yeah,
not really,
yeah.
not unless you sell it at a huge discount because that
Well,
three
that's
dollar
that's
like
what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell it directly to us. But they're saying like, here,
yeah
you
yeah
want
their
this
jobs
Chanel
are what you're
bag that would
saying.
normally be $3,000? We'll sell it to you
Hmm.
for 150. Here you go.
There's going
And
to be a
they're
lot
getting
of
rid
those
of them.
containers, a lot of those containers that are stacking up that were probably going to be sold at Chanel stores are going to be falling off and becoming Chanel
Yeah.
counterfeit bags
Well, it just
in
takes all
whatever.
the value out of it. It takes all the value out of a high-end bag, which I mean,
Well, it's
good,
I would
good. A
say
sixty
so.
The
thousand dollar
illusion is
purse.
broken.
So what?
I would
You
say to
shouldn't
the
have a
I mean
sixty
I don't
thousand
I,
dollar purse, right?
a trade war is not good for any. It's not really good for a prolonged period of time. But I mean, I would just say like to the average American, how are you feeling it? And I
Right.
think to like in China, like their factories are shutting down.
Well, we've been feeling that for years. People who live in cities that, used to
Yeah, well, I
build
mean, like
cars,
just
we've been
yeah,
feeling
for
that
sure.
for
Like
a long time.
that's the result of globalism.
Yeah.
But short term with all the tariffs, like I don't really like if you talk about cheap hairbrushes, well, guess what? If one breaks, we have like 18 of them because they've been so cheap for so long. So
Yeah.
we'll be fine.
I don't really buy new stuff. Like
I don't really
I'm a
need
second
that, but
hander, so I don't.
it turn like we don't really need that. We really don't need another, cheap hairbrush or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
there eventually there will be things we need, and like
Sure.
like ladies are gonna want decent hair straightener. That's not $400.
Right.
But so it may
Well, I
come to
mean,
a
the
head.
decent
But
ones
for
are
now,
$400.
or yeah, for even more. But for now, it's like yeah, I think that it's hurting them a lot worse than it's hurting us. For some reason, that's not really talked about in the news. Like we're trying to win here. We're trying to fucking win.
Yeah.
America, we're trying to win here. So
Yeah.
but you see celebrities and whatever like sticking up for China.
It's weird. Well,
What?
we've been seeing that for a while. I mean, LeBron James, remember when what's his name had to
Oh yeah,
learn
yeah.
Chinese to apologize? We take
Or John Cena already
our
knew Chinese.
well, great. He fumbled Nikki Bella, so fuck him. Um, Top Gun. They had to remove like some of his patches to have the movie there. Like they've been telling us what to do. LeBron James. I mean,
Yeah, I mean
Diddy and
it's
China own
tough.
him. So yeah.
I get it. I get it right now. There's a older person right now that is about to retire and they're going to start drawing payments from their 401k
Mm,
and it's been hurt. Um, that sucks.
right.
Um, I would say, balance that with the United States. Your home country needs to be an actual autonomous country that can support itself. That's like good for you for, well, maybe not good for you because you're retiring and you don't care, but um
A
like
lot of people aren't
your
thinking about the
kids, your
future generation.
grandkids,
Yeah.
like yeah, like when you hear the younger generations complaining that they can't buy a house, stuff like that, like
Yeah.
without a gift from another family member
They can't
Yeah.
because
read.
things have gotten so expensive.
They can't
I
read,
don't
is that
know,
what he
like,
said?
Yep.
Yeah.
well, that and and like this foreign country doesn't like us. Like they don't appreciate us. Like they're not just like, thank goodness for all these Americans and
Yeah.
they're just like they're nonstop shopping, like
Yeah.
and
No.
their consumerism. We're so thankful for them. They're just like, no, these people are swine. Like these people are just nothing but like consumers, animals that eat the stuff that we sell them, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
We're
uh,
all just living in the same ant farm.
but
Is
yeah, we're
that how
trying
you
to
see it?
win. We're trying to win. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see so many see I don't want to say so many people individual, but there's like a I don't know, like a faction of people that are just like, oh, this is so terrible for the world economy.
Thing.
It's like,
They
really?
don't they didn't know
Okay.
anything about they didn't know
It's like,
anything about vaccines. They pretend like they know about stuff. We don't know about tariffs. Just go ahead
I
and
mean,
admit
I'm
it. We
not
don't know
sorry
about
about
it.
I like the world economy to do well and all that, but I live in America.
So I tell
It's
my
like it's
kids,
weird
you're
to
gonna be
see so
fine.
many.
We're gonna be fine. Everything's gonna
Yeah,
work out. It always does. It'll be fine. We're gonna be fine. Be fine.
I hope so. I hope there's a kind of a correction. Um, America has taken on a very globalist point of view. So we open ourselves up to everybody, but they close themselves up to us.
Yeah.
So it's like, but like no one else has taken a globalist view. Like this whole globalist agenda is like drain America dry because it's like we have or we did.
Well, the rest of the world thinks
We
we're a
would have low
joke. They make
tariff.
fun of
Yeah, they
us.
do. They really do. Yeah, like we had low tariffs on things and they had high tariffs on our things. And it's like, okay, I guess that was good for a little while, but then at some point you're just getting taken advantage of. And
I
it's like, it's
agree.
not necessarily my generation, because I would say my generation has mostly benefited from it, but like I care about my kids being able to
Yeah.
afford things. I care about, not counting on foreign countries for antibiotics, which is like, how does that
Yeah.
happen? How does that happen? Like, how does that happen where America gets the majority of its antibiotics from foreign countries that are often hostile to us?
Sounds like the
Because
people in charge don't care about us. And I've been
we're
screaming it
lacking.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
at least 15 years. I've been screaming, they do not care about us. You
They've been
have to
selling us.
find ways.
They've been selling access to us is really it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are starting
And
to
we're
wake up, I
lacking people
think.
that specialize, that have specialties, special set of skills that can do that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that hopefully with the Trump administration, like people like it can actually be pretty easy. Like part of the tariff thing is like if you stick to it, it's like, well, this company has no choice but to create manufacture amoxicillin in the United States. Like
Hmm.
That's what yeah.
either we could either we if we don't, we can't afford it, you know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to open up a plant here and start making those pills here, which I understand takes money, but it's not. there's no special gravity in
Yeah.
China or wherever that stuff's made. It can be made here.
Yeah.
Eh,
I don't know. It's kind of I mean, I'm part of it. I'm really part of it. I bought into it because I'm of that generation where when I started working, there was the guys coming to our work and they were like, 401k, it's the new
Right.
magic.
Yeah.
They coming, I'm like 22 years old. They're like, you just got to give 5% of your paycheck. And you kind of get into it, but then you're like, at some point in your life, you're invested in like all these like multinational globalist country companies.
Right.
mhm.
And you kind of get sucked into thinking like, my best interest is kind of tied in with the best interests of globalists,
Yeah.
Right.
the Bush family or something.
It's like, damn it, I've been tricked again.
But it's like also very comforting because it's like, well, it is a lot of money. Well, it's pretty easy, but at the same time, you got to put in perspective. It is kind of easy. Like I'm not. It's pretty sweet. It's a pretty sweet system.
Right.
I'm not really doing a lot for it. I have worked hard for it, and I guess I
Yeah.
sacrificed 5% for it. So I'm not. You don't want to take that away from myself or anybody, but it's hey, there's something to like our country being an actual country
Yeah.
and being able to make our
Yeah.
own computer chips and drugs and
And not being
life-saving medicines and
trillions of dollars in debt and
like I get yeah like I really I mean again I'm of that generation where I could go to Walmart and buy anything for 99 cents, and then if I didn't like it I would just walk into Walmart and be like I don't like this thing, and they just give you your money back.
right.
It was amazing because everything was so damn cheap, everything was so cheap.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because we were like using very poor people in other parts of the country, which arguably it was making their lives better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, but there's definitely an imbalance. Um,
And
so it's like,
the
again, it's like, I love all that cheap stuff. Love it. It's great. Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, it made it possible for people of Generation X, my generation, to like afford a first home because the price
sure.
of all this other stuff was coming down so fast. I was like, dang, like I could like food and like plastic and all that stuff. Everything was just like getting cheaper.
Right.
But I don't know. It was at a great cost, I guess,
It's
of
always a
our own
trade-off.
autonomy and like self
Yeah.
determination.
Hey,
I mean,
And
since you
we're
we
brought
tied
watch
in to all these other countries now and like beholden to their what they want
the
us to do.
they're trying to blame not being able to buy a house on I hope not on Donald Trump. I mean, this
It's the
started
greed
during
of the
COVID.
corporate villains. It's
No,
yeah, of
we talked about it on this podcast about
course,
how
yes.
BlackRock was buying up all the houses like to take over this market. That's who
Well,
owns the properties. That's why the market's all
part of
messed
it,
up.
part of it is that, but part of it is just like it's like in my area, it's not BlackRock buying all the houses, just people that are doing well and like being able to like in a good economy, being able to parlay their first house or second into a third, like bigger one. And it's like
Sure.
Mhm.
it's not all BlackRock. It's part of like, and I don't want to like it's natural. Like it's natural in humanity, but it's part of like the whole Joneses, keeping up with the Joneses, and like I think around here in North Texas, it's a good example because it's every neighborhood you go to, that the next neighborhood, the houses are just more and more kick ass. Like to be
Well,
very fair. Like we moved into
okay.
this house like 10 years ago and it was kick ass.
Right.
And then like there's a new neighborhood pops up and then like their kid goes to your kid daycare, you go, they have a party, you go over there and they're just like, dang, what it's been 4 years and this house is like even more kick ass. It's got like all like all the, and then like you go like
Gotcha.
years later and it's like there's a very rapid materialistic, I don't
Yeah.
know what you call it.
No, I
That's just
know.
it's part of like our society, our
Uh,
materialistic
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
Having stuff is what determines your
Stuff
value.
equals value. Right.
Um, so it's part of that
Yeah.
too. So it's not just like corporate, like BlackRock specifically buying up houses. Although that I'm sure that does happen, that does affect markets in some places because when there's always someone that's willing to come in and scoop up,
Hmm.
Like things can ever like really bottom out for like a someone like a young family that wants to get
I'm
started.
curious about that neighborhood in your neighborhood that you told us about maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. I can't remember, keep track of time, but that was like basically for illegals, right?
It wasn't in my neighborhood. Come on now.
Okay. Well, no, like in
No, it
Texas.
was
I'm
in
sorry.
Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, Colony Ridge. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
still in the news a lot.
Okay.
So, okay, so just here's what happened, I think. Just a flood of illegals coming into America. Just period, just a flood under
Yeah.
Biden. Okay, they got to live somewhere, right?
Can't all
You
live
know,
at that hotel and owned by the Pakistanis
yeah, so
in
it's
New
like
York.
so some somebody, some crooked person, I don't know. I don't really know all the details, but somebody was just like, I'm going to start a development and make it real easy for illegals to like use like some kind of like international ID number or something, and very little money down to
Right.
like buy a trailer home and a property, but
Yeah.
with a lot of a lot of ties to it.
When Bill was still working
So,
in the car dealerships, they would come in with checks from the government with not even like a social, they had like this special card that
mm,
they didn't have to, like the deal, like they didn't have
something
to,
like that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they were probably
yeah,
on some kind of program, where they had to show something and they're part of this program. So that means they're going to get like $900 a month for
yeah,
housing. And it's
right,
just like, okay, sweet. We'll just take that.
yeah,
And that's government money. So it's like, someone basically figured out
yeah.
there's a way to
That's where all
profit
that
off of,
USAID money was going.
I think someone basically figured out in Texas that there's space
But are they
and
still living
there's a,
there? Because they are in fact
well, no,
illegal, right?
remember
Or
like at some, like ICE raided that neighbor.
okay,
Like, so remember, I think I set that up too. Because
okay,
it was like, at some point, ICE was just like, we're here, like, appreciate all y'all, like, kind of living in one neighborhood
yeah,
and y'all used your like international ID cards, whatever it was, to like get your trailers. And they just round a bunch of people up. And it
that's why they're
turns
trying to
out
keep
to
them
be
out of the
pretty
jails,
bad.
right? To keep ICE out of the jails because there's so many of their people that they're looking for in there.
Maybe, but yeah, I guess but that neighborhood's been
Is it
come under a
empty
lot of
or
heat. It, I don't know whether it was ever full.
okay?
I think it was kind of a scam. I think even when the story
Okay.
came out about it, it became popular that if you looked at stories and pictures, there was already a lot of rundown properties, like abandoned trailer homes.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
think it was basically like it was like one of those used car lots where you pay weekly,
Oh,
right?
right.
It's like,
Yeah.
so it's like we're gonna sell you a piece of shit. You're
Yeah.
gonna pay way too much for it.
Yeah.
You're gonna
But
show up and
because you
pay
can't
us.
finance it, you got to pay weekly.
Well,
Quick pays.
you're gonna show up and pay us like for the first 5 or 6 weeks,
Yeah.
but then your life's gonna fall apart again. We're gonna come out, we're gonna take the car from you.
Yeah.
We're gonna have all the money you paid us and the car.
Hmm.
And that I think that's kind of what the Colony Ridge was. It was kind of like they were betting
Okay.
on people eventually having to
Yeah.
abandon the property.
Okay.
And I'm sure, and just because like if I was like a horrible person, I'd be like, I'm gonna put a clause in there that says if you get deported,
Yeah. Yeah.
deals off. And we keep everything. We keep your trailer home. We keep
Yeah.
like, yeah, if there was like a freaking a new Huffy bike you just bought your kid, that's ours. Like I'm sure there's like a deal in there where they got screwed
Yeah. For sure.
because again they were being taken advantage of. That's just like the
Yeah.
nature of that was like they didn't have social security numbers.
But
They
still,
didn't have they couldn't they
in
didn't
the
have like a
United
FICO
States
score. They didn't
where
have a
everybody
FICO
wants to
score.
come, that's so horrible.
They didn't have a FICO score. They had a FICX score,
Yeah.
like the Latinx instead of Latino,
Yeah.
Latinx,
That's what I'm
FICX.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like even their credit scores
They were
didn't
getting taken
matter.
advantage of from the beginning. So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this was the ultimate. Like, stages of being taken advantage of.
Sure.
But
Sure.
now they're under a lot of heat. The owner of the property is under a lot of heat. Politicians are under a lot of heat because I guess they took money. Even Greg Abbott
Oh boy.
supposedly took money from the company that was doing that development.
Okay.
Now, it'll probably turn out that like the guy that was doing that development probably had 20 other developments that were legitimate
Sure.
or
Hopefully.
something
Or
like
also
that to
eyes
where it's
rated.
like yeah, to where it's like it wasn't as it was somewhat nefarious but not because I
Sure.
mean like at the same time like when something like that happens like people are getting paid off,
Yeah.
right? Like you can't have a Colony Ridge without like local state politicians being like let's not pay attention to that area for a few years, you know. And then when it came under a lot of heat, they were like, we got to look into this area. But they had all been taking money, campaign donations from the guy that was doing the development. Because again, it was like, I think the trick is that because they basically recognize like there's a ton of people, there's a ton of new people here,
Yeah.
like literally thousands every day, and they need a place to live. And
Yes.
some of them like actually have like aspirations.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I mean? So
yeah.
it's yeah, it's like it's even more devilish in that way because like they were like some of them have aspirations not to like live in an apartment and collect social, whatever. They actually wanted to like own a property
Right.
Sure.
and they were taken advantage of. So they wanted to like own, like they wanted to like live and like have a piece of America.
I think it's a dream for a lot of people that come here, the way that they're supposed to. So
It's a shame
God
that
bless
like
America, right?
there are so many young people like Generation Z, millennials, whatever that like can't, but like there's freaking real estate companies that are developing like low cost housing for illegals,
Yeah.
but
But
they're
my
not
daughter can't
develop
buy
they're
a
not
house.
but they're not developing like, like medium cost housing for
Americans.
people that want to live in like near San Francisco
Yeah.
and not just get, not get just, have to pay above odds for living in the city or whatever. Just
It's
because they can't
crazy.
because you can't develop like low cost housing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't or won't.
My house has gone up crazy. We bought in 2020, and you can't believe how the price, like, it's crazy. But
That's another trick too.
we could never get another 3% loan. You know, you can't,
That's another trick
nothing you
too,
can do
because
about it.
the house prices have gone crazy around here too. So we got in early, and we've been very lucky. But like, but at the same time, it's like, well, that just means your property taxes are more, and you really can't move because we can't
Yeah.
move anywhere around here
Yeah.
and
Same.
like afford it. It's not like you can like we can't do what we did with our first house, which is like parlay that into something bigger. Like there's
Yeah.
no like now it's like gotten out of control.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The loan rates. My loan rate could never, can't be, that's not, it doesn't exist anymore.
That'll come back. I mean, that'll all come back, but it's like it'll take a while, and it's like
Yeah.
as long as it's like home loans are at 6, 7, 8%, it's like
Yeah.
it's really bad. It's bad for
Crazy.
business all over.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Hey, speaking about business and this recent administration, everyone's cheering on the fact that they're getting rid of the dyes and all that shit, the bad ingredients from the food.
Yeah.
Why is it taking until the end of next year? If it's such a big deal, why does it take such a long time to enact and follow through on this?
I
Is
think it's
my
Yeah.
question.
to basically mitigate or just kind of lessen the damage to the manufacturers that are using those things.
But they've
So
I
already
it's
been
think
like,
in
it,
use for so long. Like, what's
well,
the
I think
big
that
deal if
it's
they?
well, I mean, there's a kind of a I mean, it kind of goes back to what we're talking about. Like most of America is, and all the people that have IRAs and 401ks are heavily invested in Mars
Hmm.
and fucking whatever. I mean, whoever makes Stouffer's and Mars chocolate and all that, all the cereal, General Mills, like
General Mills,
So
Kraft, all that.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so if they were to say like starting Monday morning you can't use these things anymore, like that would have a like a material that would have like a serious effect on all these corporations and their
Well,
earnings.
that's the really messed up part about it though, is it like we're intentionally poisoning Americans because those companies make the exact same products the right way in Canada, the
Yeah,
right
I'm
way in
just
the
saying like
UK.
that's
They're just
but there are costs
intentionally trying to kill
associated.
us. Oh,
There
yeah.
yeah, I'm just
Do
like
you
in
think they
reference
pay
to
more for their same bag of
a little
Skittles that
bit,
don't have the same shit
a
in it
little
that ours
bit,
does?
a little bit, yeah.
So we get a
I'm just saying
discount
in
for putting,
reference, I'm just saying like to answer his question about why can't it happen tomorrow is because they're trying. I mean, I think it, I mean, to me, it seems kind of reasonable if we're serious about eradicating these things and really eliminating them. It seems
Right.
I'm okay with it taking a year to phase them out so
Mhm.
Hmm.
that like I don't even know whatever the
And
company
so
so
that
that
it can
like
have it cements in people's minds like, oh, this shit is for real. Is that what you're saying?
no, I'm saying because you have to kind of take two things into account. First off is
Mm.
like the health effects, of course, but also like what are the health effects when everybody loses 20% of their 401k or something? Because that does matter. Like that when like if our
beet
economy is
juice is
hurt,
more expensive than red dye number seven.
no, I think like if our economy is hurt, like that does like that actually hurts people.
All right, let me counter
Like
then. What if,
there's
say,
a trickle down effect of it hurting people like short.
So is that why the left is going to be pushed to want those foods to stay in? Is that because
No, I think
obviously
they're
the
just they
argument's
got
coming,
TBS.
right?
I'm sorry. I'm not explaining. I'm just saying like they're going to try to balance. We need to get rid of these things, but these things are also a very big part of our economy.
hold
So
on, and
we have to kind of schedule out a little bit because I guess like the factories, the manufacturing plants have to refit, retool, like resource,
right.
like where they get their ingredients, and it
And
takes a little
where's
bit
all
of
the
time.
petroleum going to go? Because that's what they're trying to get rid of is the petroleum. And that's why they introduced it into our foods and our pharmaceuticals.
Well,
So
again, that's
how are they going to
yeah,
get
I
rid
mean
of it if they
that's
don't give it to us?
I mean I'm not really I really don't want to try to defend it because
Yeah.
I would like it all to be
They'll
gone
find a different
tomorrow.
use for it.
But it's
Yeah.
like, well, but no, that's part of it. It's like so not only will it cost more to have a natural dye,
Yeah.
but the industrial process that was taking place to make your whatever motor oil
Hmm.
that had a byproduct
And
that
that's
now they're gonna have instead of them being able to sell the byproduct,
that's the root cause. The root
they're
cause
gonna
is the
they're
byproduct.
gonna well yeah they're well the root cause is greed and like just greed because it's like
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's so convenient that the byproducts of one industrial process will like make it into our food. Like how convenient. How
I mean,
how
it makes it
incredibly
into our
convenient.
breast milk. It's into our breast milk at this point. Like
It's like how
that's
convenient that the
insane.
byproduct of making this that creates this red dust. Oh, how convenient it can be also be used to color our food.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm simplifying it because I don't remember the names of these things at this point, but like it is kind
Petroleum.
of there's a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of weird things where the ingredients in our food are just conveniently a byproduct of some other completely unrelated industrial
Well,
process.
when you watch shows that are in the future, the eating is more just like it's a pill, right? Or it's something that's not real. It's not like all of these things.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they'll eat bugs and they'll like it. Like that's kind of like the way that they're trying to push it to go, right? And so I don't know. I mean, I don't
It
know what
could,
the future of
yeah.
food is, but I know this for sure. In 2013, I started screaming about food and no one cared. And I have watched food like disintegrate. Like eggs are different. When you crack an egg now, it's like full of all this wetness. It never used to be like that. They would be tight. Um, it's just everything tastes a little different when you go out. Like just doesn't taste right. Like nothing tastes right anymore. We bought the half a cow and like tasting the steak from the half a cow is so different. Like shouldn't be like that. Just it feels so unfair that like it's not even a matter of not being able to afford it. It's like it's not available. Like it's weird that we're
Yeah,
in this position with food.
it is. Yeah, I kind of, I'm down with everything you're saying. I think it just, but it's not like a conspiracy against us necessarily. I mean, there is a lot of stuff we don't know, so we're not
Yeah.
making informed decisions, but it's more like the our American, because I say American because it's not like that everywhere, right? It's like we are
Right.
a different breed. Like our desire for cheap, delicious, and stylish stuff,
Yeah.
like delicious and
Yeah.
stylish and or style, like delicious and style,
And
like
or
our
both.
desire for like nonstop consumption of delicious, stylish things.
Yes.
Food is one thing because it's like by nature, it's temporary, but it's like it's become everything else for us, like everything, like from clothing to patio furniture to like drapes, like just
Yeah.
change it out. Like I can just change it out every couple of years, like
Mhm.
change it out because it's cheap, but
And
it's
that
not
should
cheap.
be that's the
It's not
lesson.
cheap. It's not
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah. I hope
Well,
I
it's
hope
cheap to
that
you. It's cheap to like your generation, but it's really not cheap to like your progeny or like your
yeah,
yeah.
it's
So I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of it's hard to balance these things in this world because you're a freedom loving American, a capitalist, but it's like man, people they just it's like the human nature just takes things too far.
Right.
yeah.
How do we regulate that? How do we regulate that when we want to be free and we want people to have freedom and choices? But like, I guess it's like the more like the people making unformed decisions, like a lot of it being hidden.
Mhm.
But then again, they tell us they don't really hide the
That's the
fact that
thing. That's the
they don't
thing.
really hide the fact that red dye is like a byproduct of some other process. Like
Yeah. Or that
they tell us,
Hillary Clinton
and
called
we
it
just yeah.
Frankenfood back in like the early
90s.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, I think that
Like
like for a long time, humans, Americans were told these things. Like they actually did tell us, and we were just like, "Wow, that's incredible. That's
yeah.
so
Huh.
convenient. We are
Yeah.
blessed.
That's what I'm
We are
saying. It's gonna get down to like just take this and
hashtag
you're good for the
blessed."
day,
But then I
right?
think that part of like a change in society is where there's like a great awakening, where people are
Hmm.
just like, "Aha, no, 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 no." And when like,
Yeah.
and I think when like things get pretty volatile when a large percentage of of people are just like, aha, because there's always gonna be some that are just like, no, 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 food pyramid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta eat. Gotta get 20 servings of bread today. Like,
It's weird to see
don't touch my
it's
food
going to
pyramid.
be
But there's like a
weird to watch.
large percentage that are like, that is all bullshit. That's all bullshit.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be weird to watch people be mad at RFK for trying to make us healthier. It's really going to be interesting to
Yeah,
watch the
that's really it
mental
is interesting. Yeah,
gymnastics that it's going to take. I posted something on my wall about the autism numbers, thinking that I was like, I watched Love on the Spectrum. I was like, oh my God, I'm in love with these kids. They're so sweet. And I'm like, why are the numbers 1 in 12 in California? That's crazy. I wish we could get to the bottom of that. Let me post about it. And then
it'll.
like got attacked like crazy. People were mad, like autism's not a disease. I'm like, I never said it was. Like people are like, it's just really interesting to me to see how
I think it'll get
everyone's
a
so
little.
mad.
Yeah, people are gonna get a little. Even RFKJ will lose a little bit of because he'll even though he's real popular in general with the Crunchy Mom crowd, he's going to take away one of their favorite drugs. Like one of the things that they like, uh, he's going to be like, okay, goat milk number 4 is out. And they're going to be like, what?
Not my goat milk.
Not number 4.
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I
He's
mean,
gonna
I
be
think
or
it's
not that like that sounds too natural, but he's gonna be like this needs to be eliminated, and it's gonna be like hold on a second. There's gonna be like a group of crunchy moms that are like,
It's just
Hold
it's
on a second. We really believed in mega dosing folic acid. What are you talking about, RFK? Like,
so many crunchy moms have gotten that way because it's by circumstance. Like I'm only crunchy, and that's why I say I'm medium crunchy because I love all of my dirty stuff too, but like I was really sick and I had to like eliminate things to try and figure out my rash that I've been fighting for 4 years was from those fucking stupid Stanley cups. I'm allergic to nickel. Like, who knew the metal glasses were making me sick? Like, I
that's
had metal
unlucky.
straws. Exactly. It's unlucky.
You should volunteer for like Elon Musk's first trip to Mars because there's no nickel on Mars. I don't know
I'm
if that's
gonna
true or
donate,
not, but if what if it isn't?
just gonna donate
Like
my
we're really
body to
looking for
science
people.
like Chris
We're looking for people
Carolla.
that are allergic to nickel.
It's more
Get a
common than you
completely
would think.
nickel free. Mars is a nickel free atmosphere.
What up, my nickel?
What up, my
Yeah, I
nickel?
was gonna say I'm not even gonna say that anymore because it's dangerous to even start the state I'm in to start
Yeah,
talking like that.
not now, not
Oh man.
today. Be on the wrong side of justice. Well, I missed you
Look,
guys.
Good
all
luck,
I'm
Shannon
saying
Sharp.
is that the market will balance itself out once they get rid of all the crap in the junk food. People will temporarily spend their money elsewhere, and they'll slowly make their way
It'll
back.
be
So
curious. I'll be curious, like, because like
they always
Americans
come
are
back.
Americans are fickle. It's like they'll be like, we need to get healthier, and then it's like, okay, your Doritos are $7 now. Fuck you!
They want to get healthier
I'm gonna
because they
kill
want to take
you.
a shot. Like
Like,
so many of the same people
yes,
that were like, I'm not taking your COVID shot, quit their fucking jobs for their COVID shot because they didn't want to take it. Oh, this shot will make me skinny. Sign me up, motherfucker. Put that shit in
it's
my
true.
arm
Well, yeah, man, I'm
immediately.
saying like Americans are fickle, so
They're
it's like you got to
stupid.
be.
I'm glad
I
they're
like.
stupid.
I think RFK like with the like that's the thing with the elections. Like you can win an election, have a mandate, have a lot of momentum, but like man, there's so many pitfalls.
Dude,
Mhm.
So RFKJ is going to step on like he's going to be like
I like
actually
it.
cloth diapers are not healthier than and then it's going to be like pitchforks. He's going to be like, he's going to end up like his well, I shouldn't say it, like his
Yeah,
I
don't say
think
that.
they're gonna be coming at him like his
Don't
dad.
They're
say
gonna
So
come
that.
in. They're gonna come for you.
they're going to be like, how dare you talk
How
about cloth
dare.
diapers like that?
I don't think it's the crunchy moms that are going to get them. It's going to be the fatties that love their
I'm
fucking
sure he
Doritos and their
I'm sure he
Gatorade.
knows
They're going to be
that.
so mad about Gatorade. Fat people are going to lose their shit over Gatorade.
RFKJ's been, like waiting around in the Crunchy Mom world in the
Yeah.
anti-vax
He knows what we
hotel
like.
conf
He's
hotel
there because we
conference
like it.
pools and
Yeah.
the, like the weight room at the hotel conference. He's been around there enough to know how to read the room.
No one
But
cares about
it's still
his
gonna be a
extracurricular jacuzzi affairs. They just want him to
oh,
fix the
they
food
only
for
care
our
if they're not
children.
in it. Like they're like their concern is why was I not chosen?
Why didn't he choose me?
Like
Obviously.
I was in the weight room at the Holiday Inn.
Specifically that weekend.
I wore my shirt that said down with Big Pharma.
Oh my God.
He still didn't notice me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, even them, like they got so much momentum, but Americans are fickle. We are like, just seeing it now with like all the tariffs and stuff. You got a lot of Americans, like conservatives that voted for Trump that are just like, my 401k is not looking good. like this
Yeah.
is,
Yeah. Oh,
I
they're
don't like
losing
it.
their momentum. They're not as excited as they were, which is fine.
Yeah, we're very fickle. We're very
That gives the
fickle.
left something to feed on. They can be sad at all those people that are sad about that stuff.
So RFKJ, he's got a tough road. He's got a lot of emotional,
I like
a
that
lot of
you
emotional
split
obstacles.
the RF and the KJ to give it like RKJ because they're both a little bit like
What did I say? Did I say something?
RFKJ.
Yeah.
RFKJ,
You know, we have a
RFK. Yeah, he's got a lot of emotional obstacles to navigate
yeah.
as he starts messing with the Crunchy Mom's food and stuff.
He's not going to mess with our food. We've already handled it. He knows what we
It's going to
want.
get
That's
more
the
expensive. It's going to be more expensive.
Fine.
And is somebody going to start
We're
getting
all in MLMs. We can afford it. It's fine.
some of you cheap Crunchy Moms are going to start getting picked off.
They can make their own. Literally,
Oh my God.
literally can make their own.
Some of those crunchy moms without good credit are going to be like, this is
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. All my supplements are made right here in the United States of America. And the company that I work for is no debt. So we're good.
It's good.
Yeah. Supplements
All
are
right.
good, right?
Well,
It's
should we
been a
wrap it up in a
pleasure
second?
Yeah.
It
catching
has
up with
been a
you
pleasure.
guys.
It's good to see you all again. Yeah.
I
My
I
know.
dog's
missed
been,
you.
oh, my dog's been crying. Do you see
Oh,
her there? She's been
baby. She
What's
loves
crying.
up,
you.
dog? Thanks for
She's so
hanging with
cute.
us.
I'm a terrier.
My dog's
Oh,
outside, but you can't see it through the wall, so there you go. I can't show it off.
Yeah. Mine tried to crawl on my lap earlier, but now he's sleeping. So yay. Well, it's
all right.
Friday, Craig.
Yep. Y'all take it
Good to see you
easy. Do what
guys.
you want. Get it
Get
on.
it
Do what
Get
you
on.
want.
on.
Get it on.
See you next week. Take care.